Working environment for journalists and Kenyan media at large is slowly turning out to be hostile towards the players. Consumer confidence in the Kenyan media has also gone down, despite news on radio and television commanding a substantive following, according to a report by the Media Council of Kenya.
As Kenya prepares to join the world in marking the World Press Freedom Day, the working environment for journalists in Kenya is not so rosy. This can be inferred from a report by the Reporters Without Borders (RSF), which indicates that Kenya has dropped in the Press Freedom Index, ranking from position 96 in 2018 to position 100 in 2019, with several factors being cited for this.
Good to see the working environment for Kenya journalists not very good, and it's not one factor. One, the employment issues are there, issue of pay, issue of harassment and of journalists, the issue of poor working environment, which also relates to the media viability in Kenya.
Despite the drop in ranking, several outlets have lost their credibility and audiences over time, with allegations of such outlets propagating the fake news agenda surfacing.
The second largest purveyor of fake news and misinformation are community radios. How comes that now then radios, which are supposed to be more professional with trained journalists, with a lot of investment and all that, are the second largest purveyors of misinformation and fake news?
According to a research report by the Media Council of Kenya (MCK), many consumers of radio and television content in Kenya consume news more than other programs on both radio and television. The report goes ahead to state that 33% of the active radio audience are elderly people who are concentrated in rural areas. News is the most consumed radio program, commanding a 52% of the audience, followed by soap operas at 15%, sports, comedy, TV dramas at 6%, and reality shows commanding 2% of the audience. Social media platforms also plays a critical role in the dissemination of news, with Facebook taking the lead, followed by WhatsApp and Twitter. However, the freedom of the press index in Kenya and the entire East African region is below par, considering the current happenings in most states.
Every breakfast show in this country is about sex. And you wonder, is Kenya's problem only sex and relationships? And as a soft warning, we are going to demand that certain people be pulled off air if they will not reason.
Manake katika global ratings wanaangalia utendakazi wa waandishi wa habari. Kenya tunaona kwamba waandishi wa habari wengi hata hawana zile vyeti vya kufanya kazi, contracts. Wengi unapigwa simu, unaanza kazi kwa simu, upewe contract. Tumeona hata katika contracts zenyu wengi zimetolewa lile jina ya contractor, sasa mnaitwa contractor ama consultant. Yet wewe ni correspondent.
Kenya will join the rest of the world in marking the World Press Freedom Day on 3rd of May, an annual event to reflect on the achievements, lapses, and challenges facing journalists and media houses at large.